everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a couple cards for Scrapping for Less. This month it's coffee theme is the theme they're going with, and so I'll be working with a stamp called Coffee Time from Jane's Doodle and an Echo Park coffee dot stencil. So for this first card, I'm actually using it for the sketch challenge that's on the Facebook group Show and Share for Scrapping for Less, if you want to go and check that out and be part of it, and you can win a prize. But for this first one, I'm going to use the stencil, and I have a hot pink piece of scrap paper that I had and a white card base. I used the stencil over the entire piece of the pink and then just kind of the outer edge of the card base, since that piece was going to be going on it. And I wanted it a little smaller. Normally for a front panel I would do like 4 inches by 5 1/4. So for this one I actually did 3 3/4 inches by 5. And then for the strip I actually think that's from the card kit from last time. That was a coffee theme card kit. That was paper from that I had as a scrap, and it was that exact size and just kind of worked out perfect. Now for the diamond shape, I did not have or I don't have a diamond shape die or anything like that. So what I did was I took a rectangle piece of paper about 3 1/2 inches by 2 1/4, I believe, and I put a plus sign right down the center of it on, the long ways and the short ways, and then I just cut point to point, so on all 4 sides, and that's how I made that diamond shaped. Now here I'm going in with some real basic coloring, just a little bit of shading with some browns for the center of that card, some cool grays just to give the outer white edge some shading, and then some hot pink and reds for the hearts. And then that piece, like I said, was actually from a different thing, and I decided to pop up that center piece. Now with this I also got some stickers that I'm going to be putting on this as well, so I popped that piece up, and then I got those puffy stickers that are kind of off to the side there that I'll be putting on there. And this is a standard A2 size card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and that says "Espresso Yourself," and then just the hello there at the top. And on the inside I thought it was cute to put "You're the cream to my coffee." I add a couple sequins to this. I always think I'm only going to put a couple, and then I look at it and decide that I need a few more, so I end up putting 6 on there, and that worked out just fine. And I went back and forth on whether I wanted to leave that bean sticker there, but I ended up leaving it because I thought it looked kind of cute. And so that's the first card I made with this set. It's again Jane's Doodle. You can pick it up over at Scrapping for Less. It's called Coffee Time. And now this next one I'm making, I wanted to use a bunch of the images and kind of make a piece of the pattern paper for it. So I used the travel platform to place all the stamps there, and then I used a few different colors. I was using my distress inks, not the oxides, just the actual distress inks. I have a ton of them, and I figure I need to use them since I tend to just color my images a lot. So I did it in the browns that they have. They have walnut stain and vintage photo, and then I used corduroy, I think, or burlap, or I'm not sure what that other one is, but those are the 3 colors I used. And then I sped this up super fast because I spent a lot of time just kind of filling in the holes with the hearts and the coffee beans, and just trying to make sure that kind of everywhere has something going on there around all of the larger images. And then I used the different colors for the coffee beans on all 3 of the browns that I had there. And so that's kind of how I made that pattern paper. Now this piece is actually 5.5 by 4.25, and I do end up cutting it down some so that it can just be a panel on the front of an A2 size card as well. So I end up cutting it down to 4 inches by 5.25, and that's what's going to be the front panel for this card. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do after this, or where I was going to throw a sentiment, or how I was going to do this. And I ended up finding a piece of vellum that had cloudy, puffy hearts on it right there. And so I thought it would be cute to cut that out. I do have a die for that, and I cut it out with a die. It's a heart with little scallops around it, and I put the sentiment in there. And then I used embossing ink, and that's Brutus Monroe embossing ink that you can get, I believe, at Scrapping for Less also. And then I used a copper embossing powder. Now I did forget to use my embossing tool for the embossing powder, which would have been a little better, but I just got my little paintbrush there out to get the extra little pieces off of there. And then I was trying to figure out how I was going to put this onto the card after I got it all together, and I decided to bring out my sticker machine, my Xyron, and I just made that into a sticker, and I think that works really well with vellum because then you don't see anything in the back. But here, of course, I have cats and dogs, and anybody with cats and dogs knows that it's inevitable you have hair somewhere, and I ended up with a piece of hair that was stuck to the back of it. So I finally got that off, and then that is the second card. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks for stopping by. Take care.